Hey guys, Chris, the debt-free firefighter. So it's March 16th. I'm actually behind. Normally, I record on a Friday or a Saturday and I post on Sunday. It's Monday right now. Life has just been happening. It's been real, guys. Um, and that's okay. I had to go to Vermont to help my parents out. My mom has dementia, early onset, so just had to get up there, take care of a few things there. Life is just busy. So this video will be my February actuals, and then the next video should be my March budget. And then the following video, I want to talk about my maintenance plan for my house for this year and then the next several years, and just big ticket items, things I need to take care of. So those are the up and coming things. February was very, very busy, and I admit I lost not track of things, not necessarily motivation, but I didn't keep up with things as easily as I would have liked, partly because I worked a lot, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So I want to get real with you guys, share a few things as far as my February actuals are concerned, and go from there. A couple wins. All right. Win number one, I still haven't used my credit card all year, which is huge for me. So it's March 16th. I have not touched my credit card. I'm working on paying that debt off. I got my tax return back and I budgeted and broke that down into the proper categories, as you can see. I fell behind on my debt snowball plan a little bit just because of a few things that came up, mainly a trip up north to take care of my parents, but we'll kind of get into that. So let's talk first of all my income. And also, if I pause this video and you hear, or I stop talking and you hear baby chicks, I've got baby chicks in my shed where I'm actually recording this video right now, just because my inside spot I normally record, it's currently occupied by my children. So income, I planned the fire department income to be $4,000. And my fire department income was $4,030. Pretty much dead on. That's an easy income to plan. I get paid bi-weekly. It's normally the same unless I work overtime, which on occasion I will work overtime. And then I planned my side job to be $2,000, and that one is actually 2021. So the difference is plus 51. Not bad. The side job's a little bit trickier to budget. I have to kind of figure it out based on where I'm working and how the paychecks fall. But this month I nailed it. So I'm really happy about that. My goal is to try to keep this income as planned as possible. So I planned my income and I budgeted within $51. I got a gift as well. Someone in my family is helping take care of my parents in their old age. So that gift actually went to my trip to help take care of my parents. Now let's talk about expenses. I'm getting better with expenses. Still have not nailed it down where I want to be, but I'm working on it, okay? Groceries. Last month, I failed that one by like $1,000. This month, I didn't mess up as much. I planned $650 for a family of 4. At some point, I will share my grocery list. My wife and I sat down after our dismal failure in January, and we came up with a good plan for February that sort of kind of worked. I actually spent $1,038. A couple reasons for that. I had a few unplanned expenses on the road where I had to stop and get food. That's currently falling into my grocery budget. I may break that down. And we had a few nights where we didn't necessarily want to cook, so we would run to the grocery store and grab some easy meals. Not necessarily something I'm proud of, but it happened. So I planned $650, spent $1,038, failed that by $388. Toiletries. I'm not writing everything down on here, just kind of some big things, but I'll talk about everything. Toiletries, I planned $30, spent $16, so I saved $14 there. My health and my medical, planned $40 and spent $50, and some of that is just all of it is copays as the year rolled in. Now pets, I'm pretty happy with this one. Pets, I planned $50 and I spent $13, which means that March that number will be a little bit higher because cat litter, dog food. I buy large bags of animal food, so I'm on a positive 37 for that one. My CPR business, I am investing in that and starting to make money off of it. But the investment portion at the moment is still coming out of my general fund. Eventually, it'll come out of its own fund. I have its own bank account, my own LLC. I just am not making enough from it to self-fund it yet, but I spent $250. I planned $250 and I spent $247 on that. And a lot of this is licensing, website, some more investments in mannequins and teaching tools. Family fun, my Triple F fund I talked about. This is now a sinking fund, so I was able to put in $100 towards that. And in February, I actually took my wife and daughters just for a fun night. We went to the Cheesecake Factory for Valentine's Day dessert. We wanted cheesecake. We did dinner at home, but we just had a little fun trip. I live in the middle of nowhere, so Cheesecake Factory is about 30 minutes away. We drove there, hung out, had a really good time eating cheesecake. Spent our time on that. I budgeted in my February budget fuel for myself, $380. The original plan, and here's the thing, I spent $221, and you might think that's really good, but the original plan was that the fuel from my trip to Vermont would also come out of this. And I decided later on in the whole process I kind of, maybe a week in, I made the Vermont trip separate because I'll be going up to care for my parents a few times, and I'm trying to have hard and fast numbers to budget better. So fuel, it says I budgeted $380. I only spent $221. This is for myself. That's actually really not true. You'll see that later on. I spent way more than that, but this $221 is without my trip up north to care for my parents. Home maintenance, once again, it's a sinking fund. I budgeted $100. Automatically place that in my sinking fund, and it is March 16th. Use some of the money from the tax return, use some of the money from the sinking fund to pay for a septic tank clean out and air conditioning maintenance. I'll talk about that more in my home maintenance budget video. Mortgage, $1,128. That's how much money I am spending for taxes, escrow, and mortgage. Eventually, I may break out the escrow. I may put things separately as far as taxes, but right now, I'm keeping it that way. So I nailed that one, $1,128. Electric bill, $273, which is not bad for February, okay? I know a lot of people freaked out about their high electric bills. My March bill was a little bit higher, but I budgeted $273 and I spent $273. The reason is the way my electric bill falls, I can budget it for the next month. So I know what that one is. My personal loan from the bank, some debt consolidation, easy enough, right? $318, and I spent $318. Cell phone. This is where I fell behind. I originally wanted to pay off my cell phone in February, so I budgeted $242, and I did not. I paid $0. In fact, you'll see in my next 2 months, the cell phone bill is going up a little bit. I had, in order to help my parents out, my mother has dementia, and we're working on getting her into a memory care facility. In order to take care of her, I actually went to their home, put some cameras in, and had to purchase a hotspot and add that to my cell phone plan. So I'm about a month behind in my debt snowball. I have a plan to catch that up though, and I will talk about that in my March budget video. So $242, I did not pay that one off. That's a negative. Meals at work, I budgeted 80 and I spent 80. So for those of you who are new here, the Firehouse, every shift I'm on, dinner is $10. If we do breakfast and dinner, it's $15. And dinner and breakfast take place on weekends. Dinner takes place during the week. So I kind of average 8 to 9 shifts a month, 24-hour shifts in the Firehouse. So I can budget this, and I pretty much will always hit that one. So that's kind of nice. I budgeted internet bill, $104 for satellite internet, because I live in the middle of nowhere and I spend $104. There's not necessarily cheaper internet where I live that's reliable. I can get cable internet underground, but it's a little bit choppy where I live. So right now the satellite internet actually works really well, and it's strong enough for my kids to do school on the computer, and occasionally we stream from the television. Very rarely do we watch TV, not because we don't believe in TV, we just don't have the time for it. Working on paying off that water heater. So water heater, I budgeted 61 and I paid 61. This is part of my debt snowball plan, so this one's falling behind. I'll catch it up. I promise you and me I will catch it up. And here's kind of where I'm catching some things up. I budgeted $225 for the gym for swim lessons. I had some instructor lined up, but his full-time job basically made him bail. So I'm still in the process of getting these swim lessons in. It'll happen, I'm sure, maybe. It'll happen. Car maintenance, budgeted 100 in a sinking fund, and I placed 100 into that sinking fund. I've got some big car maintenance needs coming up. I'll do a separate video on that. How do I maintain 3 cars and not go broke maintaining 3 cars? Subscriptions, I need to drill down into this one a little bit. I budgeted 75 and I spent 91. That's after I cleaned up some subscriptions last month. So I need to go look at my list a little bit more and figure out where I went wrong, if I missed something, if I didn't do something right. Now my wife's fuel, pretty happy with this one. She apparently didn't go as many places in February, which makes sense. We got a little bit of an ice storm. So I budgeted 85 and she only spent $61. Christmas fund, sinking fund, budgeted 40, popped 40 into there. So I'm saving up for Christmas already. Pretty excited about that. When Christmas rolls around this year, we're not using credit cards. We're not going into debt. We're just paying everything off. Trip to Vermont. Actually, kind of happy about this one, sort of. My trip to Vermont, I budgeted 500 and I spent 470, which you may think is really, really good. The problem is I budgeted 500 for for February. My trip started in February and it rolled into March. So the February portion of it, I was under budget. You'll have to follow along to see what the March portion looks like. I'm going back up again in May, and then I'm going back up again in September and probably December, so to take care of my parents. So this is not a vacation, this is taking care of my parents. My mom is 68, has early onset rapid dementia. My dad is 67, still working. The plan was actually to move them to where I live, but we'll have to keep working through that. I budgeted for gifts and giving. I budgeted 200 and I spent 185. Gifts and giving could be various things. It could be to individuals, could be for birthday parties, could be just other needs that come up. But I want to make sure we are being generous even in our debt payoff journey. Van, Van, I'm still kicking away at this one, $303. My goal is debt-free by 2033. One of the biggest expenses outside of my mortgage is this van. So the top expense would be mortgage, then the next debt would be van, and then personal loan and credit cards. So we're snowballing our way up. I'm hoping everything except the personal loan, van, and credit card are paid off by the end of this year, and the mortgage. And next year we start hitting these things pretty hard. All right, so how did I do? Once I start adding up all of my expenses, there's a few things I didn't mention in here, but these are the big ones. I expended, right? I planned $6,688, and I only spent $5,982. So this month, I'm pretty happy. I saved $568. Don't get too excited. Most of that got eaten up in my trip to Vermont. But this is probably the first month in maybe 8 or 9 months when I am actually pushing towards the positive. So I'm pretty excited about all of this. I'll catch you guys up on my March budget next Sunday, or this coming Sunday rather. I'm going to release this one Monday night, a day late, and not $1 short though. I'm $568 in the positive if you include my expenses, etc., etc. March is actually busy, working a lot, pretty excited about it. I've gotten a lot knocked out, maintenance stuff done, cars done, paying off some debt as I can. But thanks so much for following my journey. I know this one's kind of a mess, but hey, I just wanted to get something out there more for my benefit as well. Take care.